Well, tonight, a Kern County judge issued a tentative ruling today that the state of California should pay attorney's fees for Tastries Bakery owner Cathy Miller of Bakersfield. But a final decision won't be made until the matter is argued in late February. Charles S. Lemandry, one of several attorneys who represented Miller, said they're submitting $1.9 million in legal fees, having billed roughly 2,600 hours since taking the case 5 years ago. Miller was sued in 2017 after refusing to bake a wedding cake for a lesbian couple. But back in October, the judge ruled Miller cannot be forced to bake wedding cakes for same-sex couples, saying her artistic expression was protected under the First Amendment. Lemandry says the case may go up on appeal.
And joining us now to discuss more about this case, 17 News Court reporter Jason Katowski. Jason, can you tell us at this point what is being argued regarding whether the state should have to pay for Tastries' legal fees?
Sure. The attorneys for Tastries owner Cathy Miller, they said today that the state is on the hook for these legal fees because their client prevailed at trial. They said with Bradshaw's finding, Charles Lemandry, one of her attorneys today, said that the statute is clear Miller is entitled to the fees as the prevailing party. The state, however, is interpreting the statute as saying their lawsuit must be found to be frivolous in order to compel them to pay the legal fees. Now, Judge Bradshaw also issued a ruling that the lawsuit was not frivolous, and therefore the state is saying based on that, they don't have to pay. The Department of Fair Housing and Employment attorney Kendra Tanacha, she appeared by video chat at today's hearing, and she said Miller's intent in denying a wedding cake to a same-sex couple was an issue that needed to be taken up at trial and something that a judge needed to consider. Tanacha noted that there has been no definitive answer on issues like Miller's that have been argued around the country, and she said there's nothing frivolous about cases that clarify or develop existing law, and that we're still in an area where it's unclear regarding both this case and cases around the country as to what will ultimately happen with them and what the law will eventually say regarding similar issues when it comes to freedom of speech and also religious beliefs. The judge has also noted in his ruling that Cathy Miller has sincerely held beliefs that marriage should be between a man and woman only.
So in a case like this, there's still plenty to go, right? And we mentioned there's a hearing in February. What are we expecting to see come out of this down the road?
There will be more argument at this hearing. On February 23rd is the next hearing, and attorneys in the meantime are expected to file more legal briefs arguing their position. But on February 23rd at Superior Court, they're going to give basically their final arguments as to why Lemandry, as to why the state attorney should have to pay, and the state attorneys on why they shouldn't have to pay, and Bradshaw will issue a ruling and give a final judgment. And at that point, then, we're going to expect that the 5th District Court of Appeal is eventually going to take up this case and decide whether to uphold the decision or to order it to sent back to court.
Well, is this just about case law, or is there a precedent to be set here?
There is a precedent to be set here also, yes. As both attorneys said, Lemandry said at one point, he said he's being contacted from people all over the place now regarding these types of cases. He said throughout California, we're seeing a lot of these cases come forward and across the country as a whole. So there needs to be case law set here as to how to proceed.
All right. Jason Katowski reporting this evening and just fresh back from court today. Appreciate the update.
Thank you.
Okay.